Welcome in Carpooling with Ben, folks. As this pandemic has really it's brought on different elements of different people, and it's made some people stars for the wrong reasons and some people stars for the right reasons. Joining me today, I found this guy on TikTok of all places. His name is Ryan Miller. He is a first mate aboard what they call a 1,000-footer up there on Lake Superior. And we're catching him right before he goes and enjoys some time on the water, not on the 1,000-foot boat, but on his small boat. But Ryan, sir, thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for taking the
Thanks for
time
having me.
to come on out. Hey, you kind of started the TikTok videos as just a fun way to kind of pass the time, I guess. Now
Yeah,
you have close to 35,000 followers, almost 400,000 likes. I mean, this is incredible.
yeah, it's really surpassed anything I thought this was going to be. Like you said, it was just the first video I did. I think I was just raising the anchor, and I was like, it'd be kind of cool if I got this on video. And I was planning on just showing it to my mom, basically. And then I was like, my wife told me about the TikTok thing, so I was like, I'll put it on TikTok. Why not? And the next thing you know, it started hitting. Yeah, like you said, just view after view, and then I think when I hit 500 people, I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. Like people are actually into this. And so I just kind of started filming different aspects of the job. And yeah, people seem to love it. I get a lot of questions, and just a lot of really I think the thing I like the most is when people say, "Oh, I saw these as a kid. And my parents took me up here in the Great Lakes, and I got to see these freighters." And so I've just been trying to show everybody what it's like to work on the Great Lakes. Go
It's
ahead.
something unique because people aren't used to seeing that. I mean, I'm from New
Right.
England, and just to give people an idea how big a lake, how big your playground is there at Lake Superior, that's all of New England minus Maine. Or another way to look at it is just be the entire size of the state of Maine would be the size of where you're operating.
Yeah. And
People
that's
pe- people aren't used to seeing that. So I mean,
no.
we have the Mass Maritime Academy. We have the
Hmm.
Maine Maritime Academy. We have a huge, fishing and saltwater life here
Oh
in New
yeah.
England. But there where you are at, it's all freshwater. It's one of the
All
largest
freshwater.
freshwater,
Yep.
which is cool. So you've exposed the industry in a
Yeah.
good way, and got a lot of people perhaps interested and answered a lot of questions. How did you get into the industry? How did you get into the maritime industry?
So I grew up a military brat. My dad was in the Coast Guard,
Okay.
and we eventually ended up in Chesapeake, Virginia, which is right outside of Norfolk, which is
Yep.
the largest naval base in the world. And it's also a very busy merchant port. And I just used to see these ships coming in and going all the time with all the containers on them. And I thought, how do you get into that? And very long story, but to make it short, basically got kicked out of college.
Good job.
And yeah, I was a bit of a partier. And then I went to Great Lakes Maritime Academy,
Okay.
and because I had family up here in northern Michigan, and I thought, well, it's a nice place. I've been here in the summer a few times, and the school actually, this is how I would get onto these ships. I just kind of used the internet and said, how do I get a job here?
Yeah.
And that school popped up. Maine was actually one of the other ones I looked into.
It's a great school.
Yeah, actually, I've got a lot of friends that went there now. It's a pretty small community, even though we all work in various places around the world. There's not a ton of us, so we eventually all kind of our paths do kind of cross eventually.
That's
But yeah, I spent my time there, got another bachelor's degree, and yeah, got a job pretty much, not pretty much. As soon as I graduated, I had a couple companies calling me and wanting to hire me. So that was nice. Yeah, so I've been on the Great Lakes for I think 6 years now.
wow.
Yeah, I like it.
So, what has been the reaction from your crewmates and fellow people that are close to you as far as are they hey man, you're just really showing too much, or do they find it great that they're exposing really giving people an idea of where that steel and iron actually comes from?
Actually, well, I had to get permission from the captain first
Sure.
because
Well, he's
I
the
am out
captain.
filming. I do try not to film when I'm actually working,
Okay.
but every now and then things just kind of happen. I'm like, oh, I got to get that. That'll be great. For the most part, everybody was really surprised, just as surprised as I am, is how many people actually are like, wow, my God, like,
It became, I guess, kind of a game to them.
yeah, it was. And then they catch me outside doing videos sometimes, and then there's a few crewmates One, you see him quite a few times. His name's Dave. He and I just kind of work together a lot. So I was like, hey, you met Dave. You want to be in this video? And he's like, yeah, I don't care. And so he'd smile and wave. But yeah, for the most part, the guys were just kind of like, hey, how many did you get today? You know, and I'm like, I think before I got off the boat, it was like within, well, I was only on for 45 days. So within those 45 days, I was up to those 35,000.
Yeah.
And since I haven't been at work for a few weeks, you know, I haven't really been posting much. So the numbers haven't grown a lot, which is fine. You know, I'm not posting anything.
Sure.
But it's actually a little easier to answer questions right now because I don't have them flying at me.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned that you were on for 45 days and you saw that kind of a growth in that time frame. What is the schedule like? Because you're taking a few weeks off, so it's different than a Monday through Friday gig.
Yeah, so I I try to work normally like a 60 days.
Yeah.
You live on board for 60 days, and you know, I have my own room. I think I have a few videos of that actually.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we're fed 3 meals a day. There's food 24 hours a day if you want it. And then I'm usually off for about a month. This year's been kind of weird. I've been doing a shorter stints on and longer stints off because of the whole COVID thing.
Sure.
So we don't have as many ships running as we normally do. I think we do have, since I got off, they fit out 2 more ships. So of the 11 ships that my company owns, I think we do have like 9 sailing right now.
Well, that's good.
It is good. I think when I got off, we had like 6.
Okay.
So, you know, obviously that many ships out, there's less jobs.
Sure.
And they're trying to make sure everybody gets some work in so that we can keep our health benefits and all that stuff going. So I think I'm due to go back out sometime early September.
Okay.
Then I'm taking a class mid-October down to my union school in Florida. So I'll only be on for maybe 30 days, and then I'll go do it down to Florida, take this class, and then I'll be done. Then I'll either take a couple weeks off, or then just what I want to do is just when I go back in November, just finish out the year.
Okay.
We stop sailing usually around the end of January for the winter because they
Conditions.
up on it. Yeah, the conditions get bad. The docks close down. They lay everybody off, so there's no work. So, you know, we tend to have winters off, and that's just it's just kind of how it goes on the lakes. So we're guaranteed, you know, 2 months off a year.
Yeah. What is the best way, aside from, you know, just finding your local merchant marine or maritime academy? What is a great way, or what are some of the ways people can get into this industry? Because I mean, you should really be the official spokesperson at this point because you've gone viral so well.
So there are a few options. For officers, the way I went, maritime academies are the quickest way to go. It's a 4-year program, and then you get your license to be a merchant marine officer. For the unlicensed guys, so for the crew members, there's several ways they can do it. They can there's several labor unions, Seafarers International Union. Gosh, how many? There's Sailors Union of the Pacific, and I think Marine Firefighters of the World or something. There's a few labor unions that you can look up and join, and they'll train you and place you in jobs, and then eventually you can kind of grow within them. There's a few companies that have non-union labor, so you can just get hired directly by that company. And but the minimum things that you need a merchant mariner credential, which basically is a book. It's orange. It looks just like a passport.
Okay.
And that's the minimum you need. Basically, you can go on the Coast Guard's website and fill out an application. I think there's a minimal background check, but you also need to get a TWIC card, which is something that's administered by the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay.
And that's basically anybody that's involved in the transportation industry has to have one of these cards. And that's, again, it's as simple as filling out the application.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'll wrap it up in just a moment. But I want to ask you: you've seen these videos, you've seen these shows like Deadliest Catch or Wicked Tuna out there. It's obviously a different lifestyle than that. But what do you think about shows like that? Do you ever have the itch to go do that kind of boat work?
Not even a little bit. That what those guys do is nuts. You know, when my in the Coast Guard. We lived in Alaska, and my dad rescued those guys all the time.
Wow.
And our boats are a lot bigger. And even on the Great Lakes, our seas are a lot smaller. Yeah, that wouldn't be for me. I'd actually had a buddy there to do that, and
Wow.
he made a lot of money. I'll give him that. And but man, it's like, no, that's not for me.
Okay. You know, what are your hopes when you get back on? Or can we look forward to more videos and more content coming down the pipe?
Definitely. I know I let a lot of people down when I didn't get down in the engine room, what the engine room looks like, what those guys do down there. And then as we get into the winter season, the weather's going to get nastier. So we're going to start getting more weather-related videos and stuff like that. And I do kind of like to keep an instructional aspect, or like an educational aspect of it too. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to be kind of thinking of to say, how can I kind of throw in some teaching here?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So yeah, definitely some more videos to come.
My first job, was on a dinner dance boat here in Rhode Island.
Nice.
And it always seemed like there was always learning going on. There was always learning happening. And so that translates throughout the marine industry, I believe, no matter what.
So hopefully we're always learning all the time,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ryan, I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for your time. Go enjoy your time off, your boat, and your family. Stay safe and healthy. And folks,
I hope my brother put the plug in.
Folks, go follow Ryan on TikTok and the other platforms. It's really great content. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.